And we're live. Welcome to the screaming room,
Hello.
everybody. It's Wednesday, and I have company. I'm not by myself this week. It's been like 3
Woohoo.
weeks since I had company on the podcast. DJ should be along shortly. I don't know, he's got something going on, but it's a wrap. You guys wrapped the movie, so that's exciting news, and we'll get into that after this.
It wasn't until 2020 that I actually sat down and watched Texas Chainsaw.
All right, how do I turn this on?
All right. So how are you guys doing?
Great.
Tired? Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah. I was,
Definitely.
before we went on air, I was talking to Jay about the shooting and why. Hey, look at that! DJ's here. You just were late, like just barely.
Hey, I know. Well,
You should have been later and made it really count.
I know,
I said
because now it's just awkward. It's like 1 minute in, bam, there he is.
I thought
It's like getting a B plus.
I
Yeah.
messaged the group. Oh,
What's that?
sorry. I messaged the group, and I thought I would be a smidge late. I think this qualifies as a smidge, right?
Yeah, it's literally
Yes.
like less than a minute. I just finished
a scooch.
Yeah,
a
I just
scope.
finished the music, and it was like 30 seconds, maybe. And then you popped
I
in.
heard the music, and I was like, "That's it. I can't be any more late. My hookah's still right there. I have been nonstop this entire time.
Oh,
Even
so
after
that's what
rap,
you've been
I've
doing
just
is smoking the hookah.
look at my hair,
That's why you're late.
dude. I need it.
I love that song.
What's
That
the hold on?
opening
What's the
song?
hair? Yeah, me too. What's the hair have to do with anything? I'm confused.
That he hasn't done it is what he's trying to say. He hasn't fixed
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's just like fresh out of the shower, dry or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need a haircut.
There's
I need a
no
beard
gel
trim.
in it.
I need all of it. I like that intro music too, Bethany. What do you like about it? That it's heavy and metal and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's energizing. It just like makes me like,
It gets you pumped, right?
yeah.
I think it's cool because it reminds me of what I use on my videos. It's like a very similar kind of metal riff.
Horror is metal.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys? So we gotta talk about the Hellgate. That's what we have to talk
Yeah.
about. So what the
What's
thumbnail is, what the stream is, and I want to do that, but I also like. Usually I have like a Facebook event that I create for these, but because I've just been so behind on everything, I haven't had a chance to do that. So
Go
I'm
do
gonna
your thing.
try to-
We'll talk.
I'm going to try to talk.
Yeah,
about
I
this.
haven't even
We'll talk
invited
amongst
anybody yet.
ourselves.
We'll
So
talk.
So I'm
gonna
gonna
amongst
make
ourselves.
I'm gonna make this event. And I'm gonna do all that and get all this stuff out that we're streaming. But I want Jay to talk about the shooting of this beast from day 1 to day 16, and just give everybody the scoop on cameras that you had to use, shots that you had to we spent 3 or 4 days shot listing this thing, and then used
And
some
the
of
good,
them,
bad, and the ugly.
and then give us the good, bad, and the ugly. Give us that while I'm doing this.
Thanks for the prep time.
Yeah, none of us have any. I haven't done either. So,
Okay,
I think
well,
his brain is also still recovering as well as physically.
well, I can
Yeah,
do
it
tech
doesn't-
stuff. That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I got
just
tech
talk
stuff.
about it overall. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be anything specific. Like
Right.
just
No, I
trying
wanna
to give
hear
people a
tech
little
stuff.
bit of the
Okay, I'll give you tech stuff.
yeah, but I mean just giving people some behind the scenes stuff, from your
shit.
perspective.
Well, next week
We
I probably
have
will.
some. I'm going to turn my
Real.
camera on real quick. We do have some stuff already to share, so we will do that a little bit later in the stream. We will share some shots from the Hellgate.
Sweet.
Very early, very ungraded, but so yeah, so we went in just thinking, oh, we're gonna shoot this on DJ's Black Magic 6K Pro, which is great. I hadn't worked with it. So about 2 weeks before we, no, actually about a month and a half before we started shooting, I went and got the camera from him and started playing around with vintage lenses because we were toying with renting lenses. And I said, I've got a whole set of Super Takumar Pentax from the 60s and 70s and a few modern lenses that we would have to use in certain situations because the crop on that camera is ludicrous, by the way, for anyone that has not used one. And for those not in the know, the crop means a normal picture on a full frame camera might be the full front of the house. And if you shoot on a crop sensor, that front of the house becomes like the front door. So it crops in on the sensor. It doesn't have as big of a sensor, which I'm used to because I shoot on a Canon C200 and it's a crop and it's about a 1.5 crop. And I feel like the Blackmagic was a heavier crop. So it was something that was a growing pain going in. And within 2 days, we started realizing we had 3 other Blackmagic cameras and my C200 and my Canon R5, which shoots up to 8K. So we started off with one camera. We ended up shooting this film on at points in the Hellgate when we were tearing into some flesh. We were rolling 5 cameras deep, maybe 6, A, B, C, D, E. We didn't make it to F. No. So we did have an F cam, which was my drone, but we never used all of them at once. But we did shoot some 5 camera setups for some effects that we did not want to have to reshoot. And we shot multicam in the swamp when we had poor Madison in the foulest smelling shit muck that you can ever imagine. Horrible. I don't know. It was.
Did you end up shooting with a drone?
We did shoot. We shot some drone. If he's got some of that footage, you'll see it.
That's.
But
cool.
anyway, yeah. So we use one camera mainly, and I'm still transposing some of this B-raw footage because I'm a Final Cut editor. Say what you will, chat, but I love it. And so Apple and Blackmagic do not get along, as Apple.
Did you say 5 cameras, Jay?
5.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't hear that either. I was surprised by that. Okay. That's all.
So
I was just making sure Zach heard you right.
Yeah, we have 3. We had 3. Let's see. My camera op, Jaron, has a Blackmagic. My gaffer, Jeremy, had 2 Blackmagics. One of them a Pro 6K or 6K. DJ has a 6K Pro. So there's 4 Blackmagics on set at all times. Then my Canon C500. I wish. Sorry. Canon C200. I hit 5. No, that's 6. 7 would be my R5, and 8 was actually technically we shot with a low qual camera as well. Our producer brought her camera. 8 cameras because Jaron also shot with his T3i or something. Anyway,
but how many? But how many at one time? Like in that cave?
5. Yeah,
like
5
in the cave, you were using 5, right?
Yeah. I'm a fan of Spielberg. Spielberg shot. So there's a ratio thing in filmmaking that's important. How many minutes of footage do you shoot as to how many minutes that you get? So if you have a 2-hour movie and you shot, 20 hours of film, you have a ratio there. It's hard to get a good ratio. A lot of people will shoot a lot of footage and walk away with a lot of wasted film, especially back in film days. Well, Spielberg shot Saving Private Ryan on like a 4-to-1 ratio, which is unheard of. So he was running a lot of multicams. He didn't want any wasted edits. So he would go in with a lot of multicams and they would have a lot of footage and not have to redo the same scene from different camera positions. So we took that, we sped up. I mean, when you're shooting a feature in 16 days, you're not shooting one camera. We were silly to think we could do that. I think we went in hopeful and a little bit naive, and we stayed on schedule. We did work some OT quite a few nights, but we still got it done in 16 days, and we probably would have walked early Sunday morning, except Jaron and I decided we were just going to go crazy and do some weird stuff, and we were allowed to. Thank you, guys. Sorry, cast and crew, but we were there till sunup.
You're welcome.
Sunday morning. But what we got was pretty cool. I think a lot of the footage came out better than I expected. I had a great crew, exceptional crew. Tom Seidel, Jeremy Blakelock. We had who did I forget, Bethany? So so we obviously we had Abby as a grip. I do not know Abby's last name, but Abby killed it as grip. She came in on day 2, or she came in on week 2, and gave us 2 really good weeks. And Jeremy Blakelock is my gaffer, and he is the bomb. Tom Seidel, of course, has done everything. So he was our AD for the first 2 weeks. He also jumped in, helped with lighting. He helped with scheduling. Like he did a lot. Alana was our producer, basically produced Alana and DJ produced this film. Alana was production manager. We had a great art team. Honestly, we had makeup. Excellent makeup.
Yeah, she was all business, man. I was pretty impressed with how on business she was. Like she had her foot up your guys' asses at times. I was like, damn.
She had to, and ours was up hers, and it was a lot of foots and a lot of asses these 16 days. One department seemed to always be waiting for another, because we went in with a very small crew for a feature, unusually small crew for a feature. You're shooting in 16 days, and some of the locations. And Kanan, I know you were here. You missed the first house we shot.
Yeah, I only saw 2. Yeah, I saw that first. The first night I came out, remember I met you guys at that house.
Right, but the first house
I saw the second house, and then the cave, and then the cemetery. So those are the only.
Cemetery was a blessing. There's so much room. It was nice. We had good weather. It was very pretty.
It's just crazy for those of you that don't know. Like, they got an actual cemetery. This wasn't like, a faux setup, like a fake cemetery, they were shooting in an actual cemetery at night. And like, I'm still blown away that the city, there was, no problems. Nobody was like, there was the one neighbor that was kind of busting your balls, but for the most part, like, everybody was fucking cool with what you guys were doing. And like, it looked beyond sick. Like when the fog machine was going and stuff, just like
that thing saved us.
Saved
us because we were going to try and use my machine and Jeremy's small machine to put out high volume. My machine's good, but it's not that kind of machine. So we did a mosquito fogger, and we used baby oil, and we were calling it baby butt the entire.
It looked amazing though. Like,
I think
I promise you that did not smell like baby butt.
Well, there's lavender. There was a couple nice ones.
It definitely worked better than a normal fog machine, because you were able to get it right on the ground, and you could control more of, instead of having to try to carry around a fog machine that continually goes. It's like with that, it was just like you have a trigger, so to speak, so you can just, kind of get more specific on where you get the fog. It looked a lot more natural.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't have to do the whole over fogging thing,
We had a couple days when the wind was pretty heavy. Couple days. Actually, I think we only had 2 full. It felt like a week. Being in that cemetery felt like a week. There was a neighbor who was upset, who basically accosted every single one of our cast and crew. He didn't get to me, but I heard him. He was yelling at Jaron. I understand. Look, we were like, we're being respectful. We're not leaving trash. We're not pouring out stuff. It is what it is. I think we were very respectful. We tried to keep we were kind of embedded in a neighborhood. So to the one side, it was basically houses. So we were careful on that side. The side we tried shooting away from was a road. So we shouldn't have been bothering anybody. And it was the end of it. That was the only issue we had, was just the guy thought it was maybe not in the best taste, but who can afford a set like that?
Yeah. To make it look as real as a real one, like that's, like insane. It's just like you basically wouldn't be able to have it at a cemetery, pretty much.
Yeah, we've had a lot of since then. I was paranoid because I've been carrying this footage around from here to there to there to here to over there, and trying to back it up. And we've been using some drives, and one of our main drive failed. And so panic room, I had 6 different drives that were splintered with all this footage on. I'm thinking we have this film that we all work so hard on, and there's no way of telling what footage we lost. So I had Jeremy, my gaffer, come over, and I had tried everything up until he got there. When he got there, I tried what I had been trying again, and the drive was recognized again. So crisis averted. I've since pulled all the stuff off that drive and put it on a different drive. But to anyone out there who's ever made a film, even my short film that I made in January, I was paranoid everywhere, walking around with footage, and somebody needs
Yeah, we
to
had
come
some
up with a
scares.
better way.
We had some scares, but
We had some scares.
we got it back. I mean, like, what's a
What's a
what's
couple
a movie
scares?
without a little drama, right? So
A horror
You
film.
mean like the hard drives? Like the
Yes. Yeah, all the storage medium. Yeah. So we were shooting on solid state drives, and then we were transferring those to another solid state RAID array that I have. Plus, I was transferring to a large backup spinning drive. One of them got kicked over on set and stopped working immediately, to which we pulled it out of its case and put it in a toaster. Not a real toaster, but a electronic toaster. And then we did the same with another one that failed, that big one that failed on us a couple days ago. When the day we wrapped, that Sunday, half of my day was spent crying in the shower or in a corner because I thought we lost everything, but we found it.
What size of hard drives?
16 terabyte is the max. So the big boy is a 16 terabyte. I think we have over 10 terabytes of footage combining the C200.
So you were backing them up onto the
correct
big one? Okay.
Yeah, the big one was holding everything. And what I want when I'm
We
done,
have two big
probably
ones, didn't we? Did we have
yeah,
two big
we
ones?
do. One of the big ones I had, look, if I had a pie chart to show you how many times I had to move stuff, one of the big ones I had to move my stuff onto so I could use, because the drive I'm going to give you to edit on is my 2 solid state drives rated, so it's faster. So my stuff is currently sitting on the secondary drive. But what's going to happen is you're going to take home the speedy drive that you have enough space to edit on and a backup, and I'm going to have a third backup. So we're going to have this redundancy in case, I don't know, World War III happens at your house, or, God forbid, a fire, or my house, gets raided by, people that want to raid it.
And it would
wanna
just be
raid your
too
house,
expensive to have it backed up online.
It would take probably a month to upload all that.
Can I actually
It's
show
over.
you guys something real quick?
Is it legal?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just got this book that documents the entire cave building that Sam and I.
Oh, that's so cool.
She got it for me as a congratulations. This fucking movie's over gift.
That's so sweet.
And
That's
so, yeah, it's
awesome.
supposed to say type 2 fun here. And then it goes around and shows just our whole like production, like as we're going through. And then it says type 1 fun. And it shows the 4 things that we got to do together.
besides the cave.
Goddamn cave. So there's that. And she's been trying to take it from me because she thinks that I'm not going to pay attention to it. So I had it on my desk and she keeps trying to take it from me. And so I'm putting it over here so she can't get to it because she likes bothering
I was really impressed with what you guys pulled off. Like that cave looked legit, especially once you had the lights going and everything going. Like I was really impressed with how that whole area looked.
I'm waiting.
Like just in general, I mean, like it's like if you see it behind the scenes, you could see how low of a budget film this is. But when you see the footage and you see like the movie magic, it looks legit. Like I'm really excited to see this movie because
I'm really excited to see it as well.
Well, I mean, of course you are, but I'm speaking as a little bit of an outside perspective, and like towards anybody out there listening, it's like I'm telling you guys, get pumped for this because this is going to be a really cool thing to follow along as it comes together.
So Bethany, you were on set for a couple of days when we were in Dave's bar, and then you were on set in the first house for a day, right?
Yeah.
In the girls' apartment location.
Yes. Yeah. I was really, really trying hard to stay out of the way because poor Sarah only had a very small area. Sarah's the makeup artist, a very small area where she was set up to do hair and makeup. And you guys were waiting, like that was taking a while anyway. And so anyway, I tried to pretend like I make it seem like I wasn't there just because, it's all moving parts that have to, intertwine and move together. And you guys all know how that's all moving. And
Well, how did you think
eh.
it went? How did you think it went when you were on set? What give another perspective? We got Canaans. How did you think are we all just a bunch of like monkeys running around with our thumbs up our ass, or like
No, I
like
thought
when we were doing-
everybody. No, I thought everybody worked really, really well together, and it was. I don't know. It was just interesting to see because I'm usually working with Jay on sets, and so it was kind of like it was really the first big thing he's done, and then the first, or bigger thing he's done without me. And so it was. We were both kind of like, oh, this is weird. Like, this is awkward, and you know. But he would come home and tell me about it, so that was fun. And I got to have usually have food waiting that was cold at 2 a.m. by the time he got to eat it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought you guys all worked really, really great together, and it was just cool to see Jay do his thing when he was on set, and then also because he got cast in a role originally, and still wanted to do that. And so I was on set for that day.
I never said I wanted to
at
do
Dave's
it.
Bar.
Well, it
You
was
did.
funny.
You auditioned for it.
It was funny.
And Bethany,
No, go ahead. Ask Bethany your question.
you took pictures, right? Like you got, because for those that don't know, Bethany is a photographer as well, and you were able to get quite a few pictures, right? Where can
No,
people see
actually,
any of
I
that?
didn't.
You
Yeah.
didn't?
You shot the
I thought
entire
you did
promo
take
thing.
pictures.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I did the promo shoot, but the day that I was
Sure.
on set, I was being like the girlfriend and taking pictures of Jay when he was
No,
doing his scene and
I
stuff.
think he means promo.
But I did the promo shoot.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm just saying, because like I'm, for people out there, like we're talking about this thing, but I want them to be able to like
Right,
they could
right.
see this,
Yeah.
like it's almost like the play along kind of
as soon
thing.
as
Like
Jay, as soon as Jay sends me the screenshots that he sent me via text,
I
can
what?
share them for the chat to see.
I sent
speaking
them
of the
to you.
chat, you sent them via text. You didn't
you-
email them.
DJ, you also have the ones I sent you on Dropbox, so that's a different folder. So if you
Oh, can you send that to me again?
uh
Thank you.
If you
but I
just
wanna-
click
I wanna-
that text link from your computer, you can download everything.
right.
Just
well, while
click it.
that's happening,
he's
do you
got a
wanna-
PC.
He's a
doesn't he? Never
boomer,
mind.
Jay. He
He's
doesn't
got a
know
PC.
these
DJ,
things.
want to get with the chat?
Yeah, I want to see about chat real quick. Zach, he asked a very important question. He asked, "How was the crafty?" He's curious to know what the go-to snack for us was. So
Cheese doodles.
I'll start it off. I really liked the gummy. We had like Mott's gummy candies. I really liked.
Oh,
that.
like gummy bears or the
Like
gummy
bear
worms.
stuff. That was my kind of go-to snack. We had Coca-Cola Classic, so I would always have gummies and Coke. And then that would be my go-to crafty snack. But we had quite the spread.
Well, that burger place we went to that we got food from was really good as well. I don't remember the name of it.
I
but-
also too like the Coke.
Carolina Jacks. We had lunch catered.
Yeah.
Carolina Jacks, and it was really good. But that was lunch.
Yep.
That wasn't crafty. So Jay, what was your favorite crafty snack?
Chicky parm parm. You talking about the dinner or the snack?
No, I literally just said crafty snack.
I wasn't listening. I'm trying to send you this stuff. That's stuff you can't figure out from a text message.
Yeah.
Heather's like Mott's, no
Guts.
Welch's. Yeah, you know what, Heather? It's a low budget film set.
like being on set again.
Mott's.
Here, I'm gonna send these to the group because that way Kanan can see them too.
Check your
Yeah.
email, Groucho.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna check my email, and I just got Bethany's. I'm gonna look at these pictures. These are
Cheese
all promo
doodles,
pictures.
by the way, and I said it. Cheese doodles.
These are all promo.
And-
pictures. Let me
Yeah,
see.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got. Yeah, I got a bunch of promo pictures or promo.
Yeah.
Pictures, but I thought you had some BTS stuff that you were gonna say.
No,
Yeah, can we
no, I just have
Can-
the other ones. I thought you were saying you. Here, I'm gonna send the other one from the table read, but yeah,
Well,
no, that's
Thank God this is just a
How
dress
can we
rehearsal.
share these? Yeah.
I'm gonna share my screen, and we're
Oh,
gonna
God.
see some.
Yeah,
stuff,
I was gonna
but
say
also-
share some
Let me
of
see
these.
that. Let me see that search history, bro.
Oh, you're not gonna see that.
I wish I was in charge of chat. I don't have chat control right now because I'm in timeout. Apparently,
I'm sorry.
just-
I gotta figure out how to do it. But this is some of the
Chat
shots,
missed you.
these are some of the shots that Bethany got from set. with there's Madison and Summer, our two leads, kind of playing around there. Let's see what we else.
Yeah, and that was their first day in the promo
That's such
shoot
a
was
great
their first day in character, really. So
Like that red of that sign just pops. Like that's a great picture.
yeah,
So is that one. Where was this location?
this
Is
was
it an
Rain
actual
Dogs
bar?
in 5 Points. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
this-
Rain
That's what I'm
Dogs
saying.
at
It's an
5
actual
Points.
bar.
Yeah, this is an actual
Jacksonville,
bar. We
Florida.
didn't shoot here. These are some promo photos that we're going to be sharing around, but we didn't shoot here. I'm trying to let me see where we actually are.
But you did shoot at an actual bar.
Yes, we shot at the New Neighborhood Tavern in somewhere off
Dave.
of Atlantic. But
Yeah.
called it-
And
we called
this place I definitely was looking for because it's like a biker bar, and I was definitely looking for old pictures of my parents from, the 80s and 90s, but I did not find any. If anybody knows Lorraine Croft, aka Freebird from Jacksonville.
Hey, I mentioned that to a
babes
biker
from
that
back
came
the
in.
day. Yeah.
The
Bernard,
biker said
Bernard
he-
asked which cemetery,
off Penman.
I
Evergreen
answered
or
him,
the
but
public?
I didn't know if my comments are going through to every platform, but it was Warren Smith. It's on Penman and 2nd Avenue. Penman and
Kanan,
2nd
we had
Avenue
some
North.
we
yeah.
had some fans of yours come show up there. They had seen us on the podcast. Hey, I should. Yeah.
Really? To which location? The cemetery?
They came to the cemetery. They came walking up. They said, they did a little research. They I guess they heard you say it was the oldest cemetery in Jax. There it is. There's
Are you
KK.
really?
here's some screen grabs, guys.
Screen grabs from the movie.
So these are screen grabs from the movie right now that we are sharing. These
Oh
are
yeah, and I am stupid excited to see this movie because I already have a great time seeing whatever dailies I see. It
look
looks
at
like
that.
a lot of
I
fun.
love this shot.
That was an R5 up on a combo stand with a C stand arm. And as he walks in with his body bag, basically walks past the camera, and we rotated the camera, and it did this cool like force perspective twist. Very creepy. I sent you a pretty cool video. If you could play that video in the chat. I don't know if you can play it from chat, but
I'll look, but like
it gives you an
I
idea of how
just
much
sent a
smoke we
picture that
had.
I took too.
It's yeah.
here's
There's
some
my
video.
camera up, Jaron. He's filming. We had that's my Skodak 600 watt in a corner. We were trying to light this whole canopy like moon in the background, but we didn't quite have enough firepower, so we had to use multiple lights to get the canopy lit like moon, because we were using a lot of quote unquote tungsten colored street lights in the front. So we were trying to we were doing a lot. This was the biggest setup we probably had the entire time, because we had the whole back lit up. And DJ, if you remember, this was a scene when the gang, the three of them first show up and they're trying to decide where to go, and then they split off. We got that cool drone shot, which looks great, by the way. But yeah, that's how much volume we had in the air. We had to put a lot of volume. There's a lot of baby oil. It's a lot of baby butt.
Here's some more BTS from Kanan's camera from when he was out here at the graveyard. So here's a shot. Sorry, I can't make this any more full screen, but it's a low budget show. But so here we are.
Yeah, and all of us are so tired and busy and everything. We just didn't have a ton of prep time today, and it was kind of a last minute, like, what are we gonna do and talk about?
All right,
So-
this is what we're gonna do and talk about. So
Yep.
Zach also asked, and we have had this question brought up quite a bit. What camera did we use? Also, were we mostly on sticks, handheld, Steadicam? What did we do, Jay?
All of the above, right?
We had a Dana Dolly. We used quite a bit of Dana Dolly. We were on sticks quite a bit. We were doing a lot of panning and tilting, and then we did quite often towards the end. We put my R5 on a June Crane 3S, and we used that for some of the dream stuff. We used that downtown for the dream stuff. We used a drone a few times for in substituting for a camera, and then we used it for an actual, like for aerial stuff. And we did break into, as the movie got a little more intense, as the story got more intense and we got deeper in the film, we started going on shoulder, over the shoulder handheld. The entire last night we did quite a bit on shoulder for Lillian's Dream, which came out really creepy, and we were exhausted, man. Literally the last shot, Jaron was nice enough to give me my C200 and let me pull focus on the last shot and set it, and it was just a strangulation thing going on by this beautiful cross. I think you might have a picture of it. Oh, it's in some videos that I sent. So anyway, gorgeous. And the sun was coming out. There was Jaron on the ground.
Hang on, I'm trying to get these so I can show them.
But I would say we spread it around. It was probably mostly sticks. I'd say 50% sticks, 20% Dana Dolly, 15 and 15 on the, well, maybe 20 and 10 on the handheld, and then drone about 10%. When we were in the cave, we had very little space, and like I said, the crop on A and B cams were so heavy that we would use my C200, which backed off the crop a little bit. And I did shoot a little bit on a Tokina 11-16. And anytime I used the modern lens, I used at least a quarter glimmer glass or black pro mist, so we could kind of match the vintage as best as we could, because modern lenses are very sharp, very a lot of contrast, and so we wanted to make it match best we could. That's a nice wide angle shot. That's in the
This is a panorama. This is a panorama that Sam, my girlfriend, took, and I kind of screwed it up by moving around. You can see my big hand right there.
Oh my goodness, that's terrifying.
Yeah. So here's a cool shot.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's a cool shot of Jay not following protocol, I guess. I don't know.
Yep. On the furniture, Mom. So sorry.
I sent you a few other ones too. I don't know if you.
I'm getting to them. Let's see if I can. There we go. There we go. So these are some BTS shots. This is one of the. This is Braden Noble, as he is all made up during one of Stacy's nightmares. And as you can see, he's got this cool looking like tentacle arm thing here, and his face is all screwed up.
Yeah,
Which location is that at?
This location was a guy named Sid's house, who was also in the film. He's one of the bikers in.
He was so good as the one-eyed biker.
Yeah.
He was badass because he was just the quiet guy. Apparently he came in
and there's so much of this. There's so much of this that I didn't get to see. I wish I was able to have been there more, but I'm excited to see the footage and shit as it comes together.
This is
DJ yeah, go ahead.
This is the final shot of the movie. This is right
That's
before
what we're talking about. There's the cross. There's the strangulation.
Is the light coming up?
Yeah,
yes, that's what I'm saying. That's my fault. Well, it's kind of my fault. We had a lot of special effects makeup this last night, which is why it was the last night.
But that's pretty dope. Even if for the film you're not going to use that because you don't want it to look like morning or whatever. Just to have shots of showing that you were shooting the whole night. You know what I'm saying? That's a pretty cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool to get to see because when I was there, it was pitch fucking black, super dark.
The two pictures I sent you, DJ, I call that what really happens on set, and the third was a slow-mo video, which is what I also call what really happens on set. It's a lot of waiting shots. The two I got, it was very artistic. It felt like Barry Lyndon. Everyone was sitting in this. If anyone's seen Barry Lyndon, there's a lot of guys sitting in portrait style rooms, sitting like portraits. And this is late, I think Friday night or Saturday morning, going into 420, and it was waiting on makeup. And we were pretty far from base camp, so at some point we were on the other street waiting for makeup, which was on the far street. And so there was quite a bit of waiting and not really. Oh yeah, here's a video.
Here's some drone shots of the graveyard.
Oh hell yeah!
So here's some footage.
So that's really grainy, but There it goes. It cleaned up a little bit.
So this is what you guys can expect to see. I mean, this is
Here's
just
the
a real
gravestone.
basic, like real basic grade, like just shots. This is from your C200.
No, this is actually my R5 on a June. So we were going steady on this here.
So you guys can see just kind of what, kind of what we're looking at. This is some, these are some shots that you guys are going to see in the actual movie once it comes out. So, but sound off in the chat. What are you guys thinking? You think this is going to look at least decent? Does it look like we spent, what was our production budget? I think it was 70,000, 75,000. I think our production budget was. I think it's I think we went a long way with that production budget, just as far as different things that we could get. You're going to see a little bit of a look at that fog. Look at that Atmo. It looks so good.
Yep. And that's what I'm talking about, is like when you could see the budget you guys are working with, right? When you're there on set. But like literally the things you guys are able to pull out, like atmosphere is, in my opinion, story and atmosphere are what make for a good horror movie. And you guys capture the atmosphere, for sure. Like the story part, I don't know yet. I haven't read the script. I'm guessing it's a good story because you're so
Look at that light there. That's my shot,
about
man.
stories. But yeah, I mean, like exactly, like there's just so much atmosphere in this. Because like that cave part with the things, don't want to get into any spoilers, but like the things that happen in that cave, like is so atmospheric and just, but fun too. So
we'll see some stuff in the cave.
So what are you editing all this on? What software are you going to use?
DaVinci.
Like, why are you showing all of it though?
Because it's fine.
This
okay.
is just it's a teaser.
It won't matter. It won't matter.
It's a drone.
Spoiling anything.
No, there's not that many people, for one, that see this. For two, like only people that are really, really interested and whatnot are going to see all this. And
Braden Noble and Madison Grace, like really, like, look at the fear in her eyes. Her acting,
dude. Yeah, I was impressed. Like in that cave when she was strapped down or whatever, like, and she was almost in tears. I think she was in tears at one point. Like, yeah, like I was impressed. So just even, it was cool, like things that none of you guys will see if you weren't on set, but just like her methods of getting in the right headspace. And there was some of the fun stuff. But yeah, like her just getting in the right headspace for doing what she needed to do. And like, like she's a fucking pro, man.
Wow, I'm
it's
super
really,
excited.
Really exciting to see.
Oh, here's actually some metal shots, some shots of the club.
Everything you're seeing is from the Canon side.
That's a fucking cool shot right there.
Yeah.
Where location's that?
That's downtown. That's the spot everyone films at. Boy, that's behind the Florida Theater. It's got there's a great alleyway. So we went there after the music. This is fun. I like this shot. Is awesome. That's when.
So what did you guys do for sound? Like
Matt Vigo
for things like that. What did you do? Did you like boom or
that was MOS? So there was no sound in that. Her dream sequence. So
you're gonna do a lot of via like voiceover. A lot
of that cave. Here's a shot of that cave. Look at that. Hang on. We got a couple of cave shots.
Yeah, I mean, look at that shit, guys. Like just the lighting and everything is so cool in that.
So we built this cave. Sam and I built this cave from March 1st to pretty much the Monday that we were scheduled to shoot there. Only weekends, like 8 to 10 hours a day. I mean, like we honestly, like I can't wait to talk about, this cave and really showing it off and talking about, like, we were in there for a total of maybe 9 days collectively. I mean, like it felt like 20, but we were in there for 9 days building this thing. I mean, we built it. We went to Lowe's. I'm really hoping to get a Lowe's sponsorship because we bought everything from Lowe's, from the lumber to the tools to the paint to everything. I mean, like and all of that is what you're looking at here in this screenshot, that cave, what he's leaning against is muslin cloth. So that's muslin cloth with some moss. I forget what that moss is called. It's Spanish moss.
Spanish moss.
So that's muslin cloth. There's some 2x4s behind him that he can lean against. And
they use spray foam. The art department
yep,
threw up some spray foam.
Use painting. Let's go to the next. We got some more background of.
I've had quite a few people asking if the goal is to have a Blu-ray DVD type of thing.
There will absolutely be a Blu-ray DVD type of thing. One of our strategies to getting this out and distributing this is we obviously want to pick up some distributors, but we are absolutely going to have a Blu-ray. Physical media, especially within the horror sphere, is rising. More and more people are buying physical media and buying DVDs, Blu-rays. When we are
especially with what these studios are doing, where they're, making like movies, literally controlling if you can see them anymore or not, like just taking them off their platform. So unless you have a physical copy, you can't see it. So,
right. So you're always going to be able to watch the Hellgate whenever you want to, whether it's streaming or whether you have oh, there's Karen in the graveyard. Oh no.
And so I'm guessing you'll also do like behind the scenes, like do a director's audio and things like that on the Blu-ray.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We're going to have a commentary. It's going to be Jay and I talking the whole time on the commentary. I'm going to try to get Sam on when we talk about the cave. That's going to take some convincing, but so there was that. Let me find some more footage for y'all. Yeah, I don't consider any of this spoilers. I don't consider any of this
it's all out of context anyway.
Anything. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Here we go.
Cuz like I've seen a bunch of the different things and I still barely have a clue what the movie's really even you know what I mean? Like just seeing random things, I don't know, it's enticing as long as you're not showing full scenes like
well, this is a full scene, but it's really not. It's a short scene and it's out of context. And this was my favorite scene to shoot from a lighting standpoint.
Yep.
I really, really embrace like this darkened room with a street light outside.
It looks like natural light.
Yeah, that was a big boy, probably a 600 or a 1200 watt light posted way up on a triple riser outside coming in because it was dark. And we didn't use any.
What I mean, like natural, not as in like daytime, but I mean natural as in like, a real living room lamp, a real outside light coming in. Like it doesn't look at all lit.
So we set her rim light. If we didn't have, there was a Kino tube in the room that tubes are they bring up the room ambience. So we just lit the room ambience up to where the camera could see everything. And then we brought in this outside light, which, was supposed to be lighting everything, but shot this with my 50. This is my favorite lens. This is my 85. It was absolute cream and the way it handles light. And I just like the look of vintage lenses. It already looks like film. It's shot on straight bits.
It has there's that richness to it that you generally don't see unless you're using, actual film. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm excited.
I haven't seen this yet.
There's a couple scenes just thrown together. There's like a little bit in the music store of her walking in, I think in the next one, and I don't remember really what else. Yeah, so this is like just
and shout out to Sunrise Music. For those of you in Jacksonville, Sunrise Music's it's a fully operational music store. They teach instruments there and everything. And this is we don't mind doxing them because they want to get the business. So
it's a fully operational station.
Do they sell like CDs or is it music store?
No, it's a music store. Yeah, it looks like they do mostly lessons.
Yeah, it's like we have a place called Skips Music here. It's the same kind of thing. It's like a little mom and pop music store.
So it's funny. Summer has no idea how to play guitar. And so
Really?
we're gonna be like dubbing in sort of like guitar playing for her. But she did a really good job taking direction, and she learned a little bit because Madison plays guitar. So she took a couple of lessons from Madison. But that was the music store. This is a graveyard. Some opening scenes at the graveyard. That's Paul Thompson. He is our groundskeeper.
He was I am one of my favorite people that I met while I was there. He was such a nice guy.
Yeah, now he's digging up someone's loved one. So cool.
Like we
cool
had
story, bro.
some really good long conversations. Like very cool guy.
He's from Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
So we got along, you know. Except the
are you from Brooklyn?
I'm from Long Island.
Nice.
Which technically owns
Same
Brooklyn.
land.
It's on our island.
It's a trip to me how many New Yorker or New York area people I came across while I've been in Florida. Like,
yeah, we're like
there's a lot of
cockroaches. Here's that shot. And it's
Yeah,
nice.
oh, that's so cool.
James says graveyard groundskeepers are never creepy. No, never.
Right? Well, look at him. Look what he's got. All his tile needs fixing. Come on, guy.
Yeah.
I love that there's like some wet kind of dragging that you can see coming from that bag.
Oh, Jose says, "Get out! I'm from Brooklyn."
Yep. What up, Jose?
All right. But is it the Islanders or the Rangers?
Oh,
How did you get that shot? You didn't have a crane. How did you get that?
that's my drone.
Oh, okay.
So
God,
we
it's so
followed her
cool
with
what you can do with drones now. Because literally that was a crane shot. That you would have had to have an old school crane
or a jib, yeah.
And even then it was hard to get it that smooth, but it's like with drones, you can just basically program what you want it to do.
Actually, I'm probably going to end up going back to the cemetery. If I can get her in that makeup, I may go back and redo that shot. That was one shot that we were running out of light on.
Yeah.
But this is cool, them leaving. Yeah. That's me, Dave.
That's a great shot too.
That's
we had a couple of extras come in, and I love how it kind of like halos Lillian like that. Like I just love that bloom on that light.
That's one reason that's why I shoot on vintage. It's technically a vintage. It's a 1980s lens, a Pentax A 20 mil. That's the widest lens I have, and they're hard to find. Vintage lenses wide are very rare, and they didn't make them real wide. So 2.8 is a considerably middle level speed lens. So we really had that one wide, and then anytime we had to go wider, we had to break out like the old Tokinas. I like that shot.
So do they not make like modern lenses that have the same
They do
properties? Or
so just the man who shot my last film, he was a DP on Pick the Daisies Fine, used these lenses called ingenues, and they're big honkers, and they're gorgeous, and they're primes, and they look like Cook lenses and ingenues and some of the more expensive, like the Rokinon has a xenon. Any of the cinema lenses, generally, what the difference to me is light roll off. So there's this light thing that happens when it hits. They're not perfect. The older lenses weren't made by computers; they're made by machines and not perfect machines like we have today. So there's imperfections. You may get a whole set of lenses that are expensive from vintage wise, and some of them may suck because you may have bad copies. So what you find is in the vintage lens market is like this crazy Pokemon style, like everyone's trying to find the best copies of the best lenses. And with that roll off, that light roll off, and what he was talking about, that bloom, like what it does with light is something different than modern lenses. I feel like there's a sharpness and an edge to, you can see how the light hits. And
some of those imperfections, I would think, it also adds like an artistry to that.
It leads to the
specific
flaring,
lens.
right?
Yeah, because whenever something is handmade, so to speak, it's like each one's going to be slightly different. Some of those it may be a bad thing that's different. Some of it might be a good thing that's different.
So,
whereas like if you're remaking it, it's like it's going to always be exactly the same, but you kind of lose a little bit of that like.
There's a famous lens called the Helios, and quick history lesson is that Zeiss out of Germany was the #1 lens maker in the world, and one of the lenses I own is the Super Pentax Super Takumar 50 mil, the 8 element. They wanted the best lens to be made out of Japan, so it was a pride thing. So they basically made this 8 element Takumar, and they sold it at a loss, like $50. Everyone they sold, they ate $50 because they just wanted to put this lens out there, and they did. So now the 8 element's really hard to find. Well, when Germany fell after World War II and Russia came in, Russia went straight for the Zeiss factory, and they took the plans to the Zeiss Planar, which was the #1 lens, and they made they kind of tried to copy it, and they made a lens called the Helios. It's 58 mil. It's legendary for having this swirly background that does this cool shit, and actually was used on quite a few, not quite a few, but it was definitely used on some modern films. You can buy them for under $100. It was definitely used on the Batman in the Batmobile scenes. And I used it for one of the dream sequences. I used it when she was walking in because it has a mod on it which it flares light. And I used it in the Hellgate when we started tearing apart some flesh. I used it because it gives this dreamlike feel. There's a lot of cool stories about a lot of lenses, and some people love them and some people hate them. But I got to make that decision, and I ran it by DJ. I sent him a bunch of videos. I said, "This is what we're going to look like," and he was cool with it. So
I was stoked.
You'll see some imperfections. You'll see some flaring that may not look normal, but I think it looks great.
Well, everything I've seen looks fantastic. So
I wanted to talk about. So when I first cast Jay in the role of Dave in this movie, my DP at the time was a guy named Jack Miller that I'd been working with for a long time out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and he recently moved to Columbus, and he was supposed to be the DP on this project, and just, bad luck after bad luck. We couldn't get him down here. So shout out to Jack. But I was looking around. I was like, well, who am I going to get to shoot this thing? And I'm like, I got a great DP right here in Jay. Like, I'm going to see if I can't trick him into shooting this for me and playing the role. And so mission accomplished. I hoodwinked him, and he shot this, and I'm super stoked with the shots that we got.
You haven't even seen everything yet. I've been pretty happy.
Been sharing. But here's some more BTS that Kanan gave us. So here's actually the cave. You can see a lot of you can see where a lot of this stuff is hanging here. So this is kind of what a film set looks, y'all.
Yep. Like this is like in between shots kind of thing, like people moving around, all these moving parts. It's crowded.
James is asking if Jay got double pay. Hell no.
No, I backed out I literally said I'll back out my my actor pay for DP pay. Because I knew we were going to be able to afford both. Because I am a list actor, for those that don't know.
So yes, there's that. Here's me not being useful. I think that's
speaking of A-list
right there. I'm not.
No,
sure.
that's not true. That picture was literally taken seconds after you were, because you were in the middle. You had just finished. What do you call it? Blocking the next shot. Yeah, this is so you were literally in the middle of it. I was just like, hey.
Here's some more of the cave.
Yeah, and this is a shot where it's like now people have moved out of the way. It's right before they hit action. Right before you said action.
Here's one of our 3 camera setups. This is my Blackmagic. Or no, this is the C200 right here on the left, right?
Yeah.
And then this is my Blackmagic. There's an A-cam, Blackmagic 6K Pro.
Yeah.
And
that's on the Dana Dolly.
Here's the inside of the cave. Here's Alana, my production manager, and she was also acting as first AD. She
ran camera on one take. She got really excited because she nailed focus. She was filming me. This is what happens when both myself and my camera op, who's there, who also played. I want to shout out some actors too, because these guys kind of brought these characters to life. I was really, really happy with what Jaron did with Derek. He kind of gave him a definite comic sidekick thing that I didn't really read in the script. And I knew going in, we had talked about it. And I was like, are you going to play this funny? He's like, hell yeah. So he kind of played it goofy, and I really, really liked it.
Which character?
He played Derek. So he was basically the naysayer. He was the guy that didn't really believe in the girls. Okay. And also we lost Brady last minute, and Jared and I looked at each other, and I was like, Jazz Abramowitz immediately, and Jazz came in, and holy crap! Here's my this is my series I call the real film set. This is us 4 a.m. See the light coming up, waiting and waiting, and the next one about 20 minutes later, and waiting on the sidewalk. Here's
Here's Jeremy
There's
Blake.
cheese.
That's awesome.
There's Cheese the Gaffer.
Yeah, so that's the fogger that we were talking about, right? Isn't that what he's holding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's
my
what I was
guy.
talking about,
That's
how
what-
you
did
can
you-
get
did we
it
talk about
more
this?
precise.
That's a bug fogger with
Yeah.
what was it in it? Baby oil or something like that?
Yeah, baby oil.
Yeah.
Oil
what they're
made from
calling it.
babies.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yes, the oil of you know Hollywood. You know what we do, obviously. Jackson Wood.
And the oil is to get it to be, it's thicker, right? Like it's
Yeah.
heavier.
It
It's a
the way
heavier-
it burns, yeah, it burns at a different
Yeah.
like it's more
it
viscous.
doesn't
I guess, so
dissipate
it-
as fast. Yeah.
right.
Because like the more porous and what's the word, where like water vapor or whatever dissipates super fast.
Yeah.
The thicker the oil, it'll hang around more. But if you get too thick of oil, then it gums up, depending on what smoke machine, fogger, whatever you're using, it'll gum it up. Like that was part of what was happening with the fog machines at the cave. With that one in particular, is the weight of the oil that they're running in it was clogging it up.
Oh. Did Sam take that one again?
Yep. Sam took this one.
She's like my personal photographer at this point because that is a cool shot.
Yeah, it is.
That's the last shot. That's the last shot of the movie. Not technically, because I have to go get myself getting out of a car. But anyway, we're gonna call this last
It's cool
last shot of
because you can
production.
see the different lights that you're using.
There's my moon and my. So see how we had to take a tungsten light and mimic the street light because you always want the audience to know that the light is coming from somewhere.
Mhm.
So we brought the moonlight in the backside here. We shot I like shooting more into shadow, so this was creating a little bit more. The moonlight technically wasn't as bright as that light because the light was closer. I also put it through some trees, so we got a little bit of intrigue going with shadow dapples. And when we shot this scene, Madison was walking in this way, and that's when she realizes. Well, she doesn't realize, but it's a dream, and something bad happens here. But this is a great picture. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, light is so important, and people don't realize, like, if you may not intentionally, but subconsciously you'll put, like Jay was just saying, where you want to always make sure it's clear where the source of light is from, because you may not even consciously think about it. You might be watching a scene but if the light is like a unnatural direction or a source that doesn't make sense, or what I've seen a lot of amateurs do, they'll have multiple sources that don't work, and you're just like, there's like magic light coming from the floor, like what the fuck's that?
Yeah.
It just makes the whole, and you could do it, sometimes you do it on purpose if you're wanting to give it like some fantasy type of scene or whatever, but
Speaking of fantasies,
you can tell so much of a story with just the lighting.
So this is a shot
a great
of
shot.
we're all watching a take from left to right. That's Theus and Uriel, our art department, and then Jeremy Blakelock, our gaffer.
Cheese.
Tom Seidel. I don't know. Sorry, Tom.
Seidel. Seidel.
Our first
Seidel.
AD, and then Jay being a DP, and then me in my halo light because I am an angel. And
You are a baby angel in taking full form.
is this supposed Sam says this is supposed to be a Last Supper looking shot.
Kind of.
So here
What's
is
the
some,
name of the gaffer? What was his name?
his name is
Jeremy.
Blakelock.
Jeremy. Because he was
Superstar.
also being a therapist. Like, or he was like
All
being,
good gaffers.
a shoulder to cry on, because
That's
I
a
swear
good
every
gaffer.
time I turned around, someone was bitching and moaning about something or other, and he was just kind of like, trying, just kind of listening.
We need to bring a little couch next time and have him have a
Yeah.
background couch.
Yeah.
Give some glasses and a pipe.
Yeah. Yeah. His alter ego is Cheese. If anyone watches the show American Dad, there's a great bit with the alien I forget his name, Ralph or anyway, he plays Cheese the Gaffer, and they do this like 3 or 4 skit thing where he's spot on like a Hollywood gaffer. And I swear to God, every time I can't look at him anymore without looking at Cheese running around. So the joke of everything was being flown in on a half apple box with some jelly roll, because that's what Cheese says. So by the end of the shoot, everyone was just completely tired of hearing the word cheese, but Cheese. You're welcome.
John's in the chat says that he's worked with Jeremy. He's an awesome guy. Yes, he
The
is.
best.
Yeah, he's actually, here's another BTS of Braden Noble in his nightmare makeup.
His everyday form.
I sent you a picture of him like outside where you can see him really good, like close up of his makeup.
Another cave shot. Jay brought his favorite no button. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if I can't zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah. So this is every time I try to ask Jay for stuff, he just pulls this out and hits it, and you can tell what it says. So that's,
I don't know what you're talking about. But
here we go. Some more. This
Yeah.
is so Hillary Warren here and Brad Shear were our special effects makeup artists. This is in the middle of this. So there's a whole transition scene that happens. And I guess I should, for some of these, I guess I should put this up, even though it doesn't really matter. But there's a transitions. There's like a bunch of transitions that happens in this scene of Braden getting more and more scary, and these guys were responsible for that. And there's Jaren, our Derek character, plus camera operator in the background there.
It's so funny. I don't know if I ever saw him without the makeup on. Like,
Without
now that I
makeup
think
on?
about it. Yeah, because like every time I went, he was already made up. So I don't know if like I ever did meet him without the stuff on.
He's a good looking guy without monster makeup on.
Because I just noticed in that picture, I'm like, wow, that's like not as much makeup on it. Like that's what his face looks like.
So there's some more of that. We've already seen that. I'm going through these as they're being sent to me. So
Well, I'll send you some crazy shit.
I got some more coming. But this has
Oh,
just been
squid face.
This has been such an excellent shoot. Let me.
So you guys feel pretty good then about like, you know, the principal photography and everything.
No.
Oh,
Just kidding.
I do. I absolutely do. I've been.
I mean, there's always things like I'm sure there's little things here and there, but I'm just talking like as an overall, like you guys are happy with how everything worked out.
Oh yeah.
I thought we missed a pretty major shot of somebody kneeling at a gravestone having a conversation, and I didn't. I completely and I shot it because I heard myself talking. So that's how tired I was. I don't even remember shooting it. I was like, "Well, we got that shot." So that was positive. I found that today. There's a.
Oh, you thought you had missed it?
I thought we missed the shot. I was like, we're gonna have to get her in makeup and get back there because it was pretty important.
Yeah, you were just saying that a minute ago. Okay, so you
Yeah.
did. So you did get it. That's cool.
So here's
Yeah,
some
so
more
that's
cave. You can see a little bit more of how we did it, but I still think it looks amazing. We built this inside of a warehouse here in Jacksonville. Here's some hanging out at in the graveyard at Crafty. We got an extra getting made up for a nightmare scene here, and then the rest of us are just hanging. Actually, this is my final day. This is part of my final day speech.
Got that on video.
Where I almost cried, but thanking everybody for all their time and dedication and everything for this movie. It's going to be an awesome movie. I'm super stoked.
How many people? Do you know how many total were involved between
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough.
Actors and crew? Like, do you know the number though? Because I know it's quite a few people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a lot, but like it was quite a few people, like you could see in that picture.
I want to say about 20. There was about 20 people, I think, total cast and crew that helped make this film. Let me. Hang on, I got some videos that Jay sent. Here we go. So here's Braden not made up, and me talking to him, and Summer Brunel.
Yep,
our
I definitely
chief.
did not see him without makeup.
Am I? What's going on here? I feel like I'm going backwards. No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's forward. That's the setup I'm talking about. Where we had that's a 600 watt light there with the China ball on it, and behind him, behind that, the cameraman, which was me, was the other 600 deep in the trees to try and light this. Then we had looks like a 200 watt bulb on our subjects. It was a lot. It was a lot of firepower. Not quite enough. Oh, here we go. We get this
Yeah,
firepower,
because you need to overlight a scene.
you kind of have to overlight, right? And especially when you're working with, you're not working with $80,000 cameras. You know, you're working with 3,500,
because like
$7,000
people.
cameras.
The reason I bring that up is because like anybody watching this might be like, that's not going to feel that creepy. That's kind of bright, but it's like you can't
Not when
you can't really add light. You can take away light. Like there's ways
correct. You
to
can
make
stop down.
And you won't lose definition and detail. If it's too underlit, you're not going to get the details in the face. If things are going to start to get out of focus and things like that. Whereas you can, for lack of a better word, you can deepen the contrast. You can do things like that and bring the lights down, but you can't add light back when there's no light there.
Also, if a camera doesn't sense pixels, it a lot of times will put noise there because it doesn't know what's supposed to be there. So if you overlight and you have information, so we would pop the LUT off. So LUT is a lookup table.
You'll get that grainy shit going on.
We recorded with the LUT turned on. So a LUT is a lookup table. It shows you about what it's going to look like. There's our secret sauce right there. So and there's Abby getting the smoke going. So we see it squirts at first. It just squirts actual oil out. That means it's not hot enough. Once it gets hot enough, when you press that button, it comes out as steam.
Motion warning for people that have motion sickness. Oh, there's Sam. But there's our sound crew.
Yeah. Camera up. And Derek. I sent a picture of some gear. Oh, this is a good one.
I'll show it. James is asking, too dark makes pixels. Did you explain that a little bit?
If the pixels have no information. So if the pixels, so you're basically the camera itself absorbs light in I don't know the correct terminology, but so basically that's our secret sauce right there. That's going to be on the cover of
light.
That's a trifold on Camera Op magazine right there. This is probably getting ready to get dark.
Dude,
anyway, if the camera doesn't sense
picture.
If the camera doesn't sense information, it will just put in darkness, but in a lot of cases that darkness will contain noise. So it looks for something. If you can bring up the intensity of your camera's sensitivity, which is your ISO, but all it's going to do is if you don't have light, it's going to also pull up more of the crap that you can't see. So if you overlight a little bit,
like for a dumbed down way to understand this is think about back in the day with our old phones, and you would take a fucking picture and it would just look like it wouldn't be sharp. It wouldn't be crystal clear. It would be kind of grainy looking, or it'd be faded looking or whatever. It's the same principle because like Jay said, it's about light. Like a camera has to have light because it's refracting off of the crystal, right? Isn't that how?
Yeah,
that's how
the sensor will absorb whatever light's coming in, and there's certain cameras that are specifically like the Canon, the Sony.
Can you zoom in on
A7S3.
that one on his face?
The Sony A7S3 is a lower megapixel camera. It's only 12 megapixels, so it has much less megapixels. But because the pixels are larger, they absorb more light. So it's specifically that thing can shoot. And Adam Madrid, who came to set for the last 2 nights, had a Sony on him, and he showed me what 100,000 ISO looked like, and it looked like daytime. It was nuts. was
Damn.
beautiful. I'm sending you some cool stuff here. There's one of the Hellgate opening. It's up to you if you want to show it or not. But
I'm trying. I'm going to take the time to ask anybody watching right now who has not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to Bloodscribe Creations so that you can get a lot more updates on what we're doing and with the Hellgate and with the Screaming Room. I know we're talking about the Hellgate a lot, but here on the Screaming Room, we talk about horror. We talk about indie horror. Like mostly indie horror we try to. And
we got a lot planned going forward. Like,
yeah.
This is just kind of a special week because of wrapping, but also just everybody trying to get their bearings back and get in the groove so we can get back on the normal podcast type of schedule. I don't know if you should show the Hellgate opening, man. Because
yeah,
I mean that's like the money shot. Like, you got to save something.
If I get a good, I might. I don't know.
Well, take a look at what I said.
It looks super sick.
DJ, we were testing
but
it.
I'm telling you, like, it's one of those things that when you're watching the movie is going to be magic. Like, that's going to be a more like super impactful moment, I think.
Going through a lot of these as this updates. Oh,
yeah.
Here's some gear.
That's the gear loadout. This is my C200. That's my 20 mil. That's my wide lens there.
I'm just glad that you guys were safe and nobody like stole anything or tried to steal anything. Or
yeah,
I always worry about that with any independent like movies or photo shoots or even bands. Like, people get equipment stolen all the time.
This is what happens when you talk back to your DP. By the way, that's cheese. That was my mohawk.
Do you have
I
don't think you should, man.
No, it's not.
Remember, this is going to be up. It's not like only the 10 people or so that are watching right now are the only ones that are going to see this. Like, this is going to be up.
All right.
But it's your call. I just think you should save because that's very like I remember how surprised and like wowed I was when I first saw that. Like, when it fully, when you're fully seeing it, it just looks super fucking cool.
So here is a tell-all shot for this cave. I mean, like, you can see inside the cave right now, and you can see where we didn't hang a bunch of stuff so that we could get audio and lights in and blah blah blah. And you can see part of the warehouse that we're in. This is what it looks like. I'm
sending a walkthrough coming from outside the warehouse. I think I have one of those. This is kind of similar. That comes around from the outside. You can see where the light's coming in. That's our moonlight. That's just that's fake. Yeah, you can see it there.
And also, if you go back and watch last week's podcast episode, I walked all throughout here on camera too. So, like, if you want to see people talking, any interviews, any of that, definitely go and watch last week's when I was down there. So
I'm getting more as they're coming.
I tried to grab as many of you guys as I could. It was hard though, because everybody was just getting back from the other location and on lunch and this and that.
So I think.
Why did Layla say no? What is that referring to?
Yeah.
Oh,
Layla,
probably about the Hellgate reveal.
Okay, the
Hellgate reveal, maybe.
Save it.
Yeah.
Save the Hellgate reveal. All right. James wants to know, so is Jay or DJ God? Honestly, Alana, the production manager, is God.
Yep, correct.
Yep. That's what I was saying to guys. Like, she was a savage, dude. Like, she had her foot up your guys' asses. Like, she was on lock.
She got a big foot.
I was impressed. I was very impressed, like, immediately by her. Like, just she worked well as a go-between for everybody and just, kind of kept everything on track. Because it's like any artist endeavor. It's easy for all artists to play when you're in that space. It's like you need someone to kind of keep everybody from, joking around too much and getting too, there's what?
Jay had this
Oh,
stupid fucking cup
What?
that he kept trying to. Is there anything else here? There's nothing else here.
Oh,
He
it's
kept
in a
trying
couple
to
shots.
He kept trying to sneak in shots.
With
And,
it on set.
Green. It's green. You can green screen it out, or you can make it whatever you want. So it's beautiful. So
It could be the Starbucks cup. Remember how memeable that became, though? Like that gave.
Yep, that's what
them
we're talking
so
about.
much
Okay, here's
publicity
it.
for just that Starbucks cup. And guys, go tell go buy some Liquid Death and tell them that Kanan sent you. So that they'll keep sending me free shit.
That's when we're ripping down the ceiling to get at the light so we can get the light position up top. Let's send another one of that cool scene with the break-in scene. I got a little of that Atmo with Jaren.
Yeah, because you guys shot another scene in the same warehouse, right? Back in that back corner.
Yeah. It was also the like the entrance to his shed.
Okay.
So that was the night that they were jackhammering. That was kind of hilarious, actually. We're gonna have to probably ADR the entire scene because the jackhammer kept going off every 4 or 5 seconds. So we had to back our actors up. Yeah, this is a fun scene. This is one of my favorite scenes to shoot.
A lot of fog.
Yeah, we let it settle.
Yeah, there was
one of the rare moments where you get to see me on camera actually directing.
Like doing
got you out of your seat. We did break a screen, so we're so sorry. We replaced it.
We fixed it.
Jaren's foot almost went through that top window there on the take. Matt Vigo, just always behind me, just kind of creepy. Just very quiet until the last day.
And this
until
is
the party
at the
here,
apartment. That's at the
this
apartment.
This is at the gravekeeper's dwelling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is where the groundskeeper lives on the graveyard.
That's why there's all the fog. Okay.
Yeah.
Proof DJ is working.
James,
anybody ever says DJ didn't do anything, he could just pull up this shot.
Yeah.
No,
trust me.
Madison's not listening, but
everybody was busting their ass. There was no anybody just sitting around. Except for me. I was just sitting around.
Well, you were there that night. That's the house. That was the house with the lake in the back. That was the front left room when you I think that's the night that I met you, actually.
But I showed yeah.
That's the night you showed up. That's the house we were at there.
Yeah, where I walked right through right through the shot. I had no idea. Like I just walked up to the front of a house. I didn't realize, and they're like, someone was like, "Hey, we're shooting." I was like, "Oh shit!" Sorry.
Tom did. Tom literally should know better, and he walked across that window, and I was shooting that way. He didn't know where my framing was, and he walked across one of our shots, and I'm like, "That is a rookie move for a guy that's been around sets for 20 years." But it was fun.
You guys
it was
were
fine.
Really sad he wasn't in this
running. You guys were shooting where they were running down the street.
Yeah.
So, like, I had no idea, and you guys had no way of knowing that I was rolling up because it's just the front of a house. And so, like, I was just like,
that's probably when they ran out.
Leslie were just like walking up the street. So,
yeah, sorry. Okay, so that is. I think that's it for everything that we have that I've been sent so far. But yeah, but as you guys can see, progress.
I'm gonna send you one more. I don't know if you can play it with sound. This is one of the setups that Cheese, our gaffer, set up, and I had to get it because I was so proud of the guy.
Don't worry, James. They know he knows you're just messing around. No worries.
So, I don't know. Chat, what do you guys think? What are you guys wondering? You think it's going to be a good movie? that's probably what it. Well,
don't be honest.
So what's the next? So what's the next step?
Rough cut.
Yeah. So the next step is
when
editing.
are you trying to have picture lock? When are your goal to have picture lock?
So I'm getting footage from Jay. What, next week?
Yeah, it'll be. I'm trying to get a redundancy happening, so we have 3 drives, and you have an editing drive. The 12 terabyte you can use should be enough.
We've had enough footage, like lost footage scares, that Jay is just making like 5 copies of the movie.
You can't have too many.
Just so that we
Yeah.
have it.
Yep. And also, I'll have footage at this house. If you say, kind of struggle with this scene, what do you think? I could say, here, let me see what I see, and I could send you something. You could be like, I didn't see it that way. Because when I see someone else's edit of something I've cut, I'm like, didn't see it that way. So maybe we can help you around some stuff, or we can figure some stuff out. And we also do a rough cut, so we need to know if there's something we have to reshoot. So that's why doing a rough kind of early is better, so your actors don't look different or something. We'll see what we have to fake, see what we have to. You never know, or especially ADR sound work.
So once I get started on the edit, I'm giving. So my deadline is to have picture lock by my birthday, which is in August. So the midway through August is when I want to have picture lock, and then that's when it goes out to get color grading and color grading, audio mixing and mastering, stuff like that. And then I have had probably 100 film composers hit me up already for scoring the movie. And we are going to be doing a mix of a score / soundtrack for this. So, I really want to promote Jacksonville artists. And so a lot of what I want this soundtrack to be are from Jacksonville metal bands. And we've already had one original song written for the film. And it sounds like, no, it's from a different guy. And it literally, this song sounds like just old school 90s death metal. And it's fantastic. And I can't wait to, I'm not sure that's going to be where I'm going to be taking a bunch of different submissions for original songs, but this guy just sent us a song that, was inspired by what he's been seeing and following of the film. And it's really cool. I really like it. So
that's what you're doing for the score, but what are you going to do as far as the
music,
the sound design in general? Like,
yeah, so we're going to be sending it off to a sound mixer who's going to be doing all of that, and we're going to be getting we're going to be getting probably not like the highest end like surround, but I would like to have some surround sound for this.
But I'm talking about, you got to still, like, who are you going to have doing all the sound effects, doing all the like the background, like, interesting layered sounds that are not music? Like, who are you going to have do this, the sound engineering?
Foley artists. Well, so a lot of that stuff was recorded on set, and so Matt Vigo, our sound guy, recorded most of what the sound effects and stuff are going to be. And so as I'm editing, I'm going to be adding all that stuff in. So I'm going to be editing and placing all of the sounds, any Foley sounds, any ADR, any stuff like that. That's what I'm going to be doing. And then that's going to be part of the file that I send off to an audio mixer that's going to mix everything together to where it sounds like a movie. So I guess technically I'll be doing the audio editing, but I'm just placing audio files pretty much. And then the mix.
You're still having an engineer mix it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So here's, I got that video, Jay, that you sent.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
I'm gonna try to present it. Give me a second. You said you wanted this with sound?
Yeah. He explains his little setup here. His big setup. This was a day for night. Or night for day.
Never refer to a man's setup as little.
Yeah, that's why
they don't like that.
Huge. It was a very huge and bulbous setup.
They're very sensitive about their setup.
I'm not.
I have a tiny setup.
This is not tiny. This is about 60 pounds on a.
Oh, is that the light?
Yeah, the way he's got a rigged on it,
dude.
He's holding a C-stand with a combo stand. See,
yeah.
And of course, he said having a $3,200 light up there made his butt cheeks clench. But
yeah.
So I wanted to give you a close up of it. So yeah, yep.
Oh, so there's the clenching cheeks.
There's the clenching
but
cheek.
Look, he's so proud of himself.
He is. Look at that.
That's a pretty ingenious
Jeremy.
setup.
I don't know if you said that's Jeremy, but that's
Jeremy.
Jeremy Blakelock, the super gaffer.
That's the chode. I call that light the chode.
That light itself is $35,000.
No, 35 hundo.
Oh, okay.
It's an aperture. It's a 1200. Yeah. It's not the. So it's expensive, but it's light.
Yeah.
It's weatherproof or weather sealed, and there's a
I
lot
thought
of
you were saying
great
there's
things about it.
35,000. I'm like, why?
Oh
is that
no.
like, why is that?
That would
Can I
light?
just
be-
give Jeremy a plug real quick? Because Jeremy Blakelock is a gaffer for hire. I believe he's union, all that jazz, and local in the Florida area.
Yeah, he's fresh in
Southern-
town
Yeah,
from
Southeastern
New Hampshire. He's
area.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's super friendly. Everyone on every set loves him.
Yep.
Great to work
That's
with.
what I was saying earlier. He was also a therapist on set because like
Yeah,
everybody was. He's like
Oh
the
yeah,
shoulder for
I have
everybody to cry
definitely
on and
been.
stuff.
He's definitely been on the receiving end of my vents before.
And ladies, he's single.
He is.
Yes, single, ready to mingle.
Very.
Great catch. Can vouch for what a nice guy he is.
Yeah. So that's how production went. We are now in post production, so you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff that's going to be shared around for Buzz. I'm going to try to post a lot more, more like reels and stuff like that from behind the scenes and how production is going. But that's where we are right now. And then on top of that, keeping up with the Screaming Room, Sam and I are going to go watch Abigail this weekend.
Yeah.
Kanan, I
Yeah,
saw
so
that
that
you
we-
saw Abigail and you loved it.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. It's super fun.
I hope
I'm
it
trying
is.
to get Jay to go.
Well, it's done by Radio Silence, who did Ready or Not, and then they also did Scream 6 and 7, the last two Screams.
Oh,
Which
I haven't seen any
I
of those.
like. The Screams were okay. I'm not a huge fan of them. I liked them; they were okay, but I'm a big fan of Ready or Not, and this to me was much more on the level of Ready or Not. Like these guys, I'm glad they're not doing Scream movies anymore. I feel like a lot, how there's like certain filmmakers just like when they're attached to an IP, it like handcuffs them and doesn't let them to be as creative as they can be. And so it's like with this, it's like you could see him being creative again. So like even though it's in the vampire Dracula, Universal family, there's a lot of creativity here. They definitely do some things that are unexpected. Like it's a lot more of a badass movie than I expected too. Like
it's a horror action.
Mhm.
yeah, oh yeah, a lot
Nice.
of horror action. Like have you not seen Ready or Not?
I
have not seen
haven't.
Ready or Not.
No.
Okay, Ready or Not is amazing, dude. But it's very like they're known for their action horror, where it's like
Well, I
a
was waiting to
lot of
see it.
violence and
Because at one point there was one moment in time that Jay thought he might possibly be interested in watching that movie, and he said it out loud. So then I've like held on to that forever of like, okay,
What movie?
that's one that we're gonna Ready or Not. Which
No
now
idea.
I don't think that you would like it, but I'm just saying in that moment I was like, okay, there's a glimmer of hope that I'll put this on the back burner of, whenever he's like, okay, what horror movies you got for me?
their movies are like they're not comedies, but they're lighthearted kind of horror. They're not like super dark and uncomfortable and they're not that kind. They're very like fast paced. There's like a bit of a silliness to them. There's lots of like everything turned up, like the gore's turned up, the acting's turned up, like everything is like they're just fun. Like that's the best way to kind of explain, but they're not silly, if that
Jay
makes
does
sense.
laugh
Like,
at
they're
me
not-
because I will definitely cover my eyes from gore. I don't like gore. Yeah, I know it's fake. All that stuff. I just don't like gore.
it's-
So I will cover
it's a
my eyes.
little
It's
bit
like,
of but it's
how do
like
you-
the
how do you
fun kind of
horror
gore.
fan and you don't like the number one thing about horror. And I'm like, I don't. It's because it's scary
But-
enough to me that I know it's happening.
But these movies are not they're not the Saw kind of gore. They're not the like
okay,
broken limbs and the bones
Yeah.
coming out kind of gore.
I
They're
can't-
like
yeah.
people exploding, like
Oh,
popping
quick?
like grapes and
Okay.
like
Yeah,
crazy, like over the top. That's what I mean by over the top, where it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like super wild, and so it doesn't. It's it feels like fantasy-ish.
Yeah.
It just makes it fun. So I mean, there's I'm sure there'll be a couple things that you're like, but they're just fun movies. They're not like super meant to be taken really like, I mean, the movie is about, you know, a little ballerina girl who's a vampire. So like, you know what I mean? It's like, how serious can you take it?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really enjoyed
Heather
it.
Saunders says that we really need to watch Ready or Not because she said her mom hates horror, but she loved that movie. So
Ready or Not's amazing. Ready
I
or
don't
Not is so cool.
Lil Boozy says
Heather's
that Abigail
mom
was
says it's
fun.
good. So
he says they made it on a $28 million budget and the whole cast is excellent. Well, that's something to look forward to. 28 million. That's not bad. It's kind of pushing it. I hope it makes a profit. It sounds like it might. It's going into
It will. I don't know if it'll make a profit in theaters. I think it'll probably break even in theaters, but just like what happened with Ready or Not, it more than enough made its money because it became such a classic, like almost instantly once it was streaming. It's like people started to learn about it, you know, and this is another one. I mean, like the opening weekend, it only made like 9 million. So like, I don't know if it'll make it in theaters. So
it looks like it's trending up, especially going into the second weekend. It says, according to the numbers from April 23rd, it's at about 12 million. So I'm sure worldwide it'll definitely at least make its budget back. So that's good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it'll break even, but you know, I don't know about making it, but there's so much competition right now. It's insane. Like anybody releasing a horror movie right now is super up against it because not only is there a bunch of these big blockbusters, but there's like so many horror movies coming out right now. It's just insanity. But there's like a little break for the next few weeks. No, not like this, man. Look at what I've covered I mean, we've had Immaculate, you had you had Late Night with the Devil, you had
I still have to see both of those.
Like I think I have 9 horror movies that I've reviewed in the last little over a month that were in theaters. Or 8. Yeah, 8 in the last 6 weeks.
I guess we're getting an influx of it right now.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, so it just this slice, because like there's not really much for the next couple weeks. So it's like,
oh, and I got taken by a fake advertisement for a fake movie trailer today for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my god,
Millie Bobby Brown. So I was like,
oh my god.
And then I went to YouTube.
So now you're a boomer. So now you're a boomer.
Yeah. No, I'm not, because I didn't share it. I researched first.
There you go.
Like people drive me crazy. Like it's almost only on Facebook. Like it's like the other platforms, they don't get people the same. I don't know what it is about Facebook, but for some reason,
well, the
like,
other
they
platforms
get so much
get
traction
either. So
yeah, they're all done with AI and they're getting better and better. So I just keep telling people, I'm like, man, you got to keep your head on a swivel more. As soon as you see a new trailer that you haven't heard about, like something for a big property, especially, do a quick Google search. If you don't see anyone buzzing about it or any news sources talking about it, then it's fake. You know, because something like, you know, any of the big properties, there's going to be, you know, you literally will Google it and within an hour, there'll be like thousands of sources.
James is calling me a scam sharer. I did not share it. I saw it. There was some other group that was sharing the scam. And then I went and did my own research and found out it was fake.
What sucks though is literally just clicking on it. Just simply clicking on the link, clicking on the thing you're not sharing it, but it's almost just as bad. Like, because because they're literally the reason they're doing it, they make money. Yeah. They make money every single
click on it.
Click.
It was just a picture. It wasn't a link or anything.
You didn't watch the trailer?
Click on it. No,
she went to YouTube.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I did click on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they make money from that. I'm not trying to like everybody's falling into this trap. It's not like you're not more gullible than any. I mean, like everybody. It's not just trailers. It's still shots. Like, you know, there was like ridiculous. I don't know why anybody fell for this one, but the Freddy it was called Freddy, and it was supposed to be a new series on like HBO or some shit. And it was literally just a poster. And like tons of people fell for that. I'm like, that's the worst AI image I've ever seen. But like a lot of people are falling for it. But the only
Yeah.
reason I'm saying something about it is because we all have to be extra smart going forward, because AI is getting better and better. And in the next couple of years, you'll see trailers that look fucking real.
Yeah.
You know, like, and God knows where it could lead us. And I mean, we're just talking about movies, but it could get really scary with
Yeah.
like political stuff. Like, so that's why
What's
I'm just
really
saying, like, we
freaky
all
is
need
the
to do our
voice AI.
research on stuff. Huh?
The voice AI is really tripping
Yeah.
me out, that like they can write lyrics and have you know, an artist featured on a song, and it's not even them. And
Yep.
that,
Not
yeah,
just
that's wild.
songs. There's speeches. Like, I've heard there's a bunch of
Yeah.
YouTubers out there that are like, people will send them saying some shit. They're like, that's not even me, and someone posted it. And so now a bunch of people think Charlie or whoever, whatever YouTuber said this, and it's like not even them.
Yeah.
It's like, it's scary. Like, because, you know, you can get political things. I mean, remember the whole Trump thing?
I'm
Imagine
just
now,
saying,
like, someone could.
I did read 1984, so like it's a good way to get people to keep their opinions to themselves eventually.
To me, it's like anything else, right? Like any other like any new technology. The key is to just simply be aware of it and be smart. You know, like, there's going to be a learning curve, just like there was with cell phones, just like there is with the internet, like just like there was with,
I feel
you
like
know,
we're still
everything,
in
literally
that learning
everything.
curve, though.
VHS tapes. I mean, there was a big learning curve with VHS tapes became a thing, and people could actually record, you know, home videos and shit. Like, there's a learning curve and dangers involved with all of it. So it's like, you just have to, because I mean, there was a whole big thing that a lot of people don't remember, but like back in the 80s, there was a big thing of kids getting a hold of their parents' sex tapes, where parents, like, you know, couples would home video themselves, and it'd be on a VHS tape. Kids would get a hold of it and take it to school or take it and show all their friends. Yeah, this was like a real thing back in the early to mid 80s.
Like,
That's
this
how I
was
became a filmmaker.
like an epidemic.
Yeah, it actually was like a fairly common thing when it first became like readily available to have at home cameras. And so my point is, it's just like any technology.
Of course, the first thing people are
you
gonna
know.
do.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean,
First of all, my
yeah,
parents didn't have sex. Okay,
yeah,
that's weird.
Yeah, right.
It's like the first thing they did when they, you know, invented still cameras was find somebody to get naked in front of it.
Well, the very first video is of the very first video we have is of a woman taking her clothes off. Like, that's the oldest we have a video of.
I shot
then
that.
There's also a couple like super old ones that are people down, like there's the one of the
Jay was in the room
down San Francisco, down the street in San Francisco on the trolley.
Lombardi
Street.
Street.
Yeah, that's one of the oldest ones. Yeah, that one. But if you ever get a chance, that's one of the most interesting rabbit holes to go down, is to go on YouTube and look at like some of the oldest video footage out there, even stuff from like the 50s and 60s. But like, all of it is so interesting because it's like it's weird. It's like, I don't know. It's one of those that makes you realize they're real people. You know, they're just like us. You know what I mean? Like, it's a strange thing when you see a regular camera just filming regular people. It's different than watching the old movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So where would you, taking it back to Abigail, where would you rank this on your like favorite vampire movies
of all time? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time ever putting a movie like that's new in any rankings I do, because I feel like so often we don't see a movie clearly for, you know, a certain amount of time, like a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like, I think I need at least a year usually to look back on a movie and be like, where, like, how much did I like, what was the staying power of that movie? Was there something in that movie that, you know, and because my first instinct is I wouldn't put it in like one of the greatest by any means. It's a fun movie. It's a good popcorn horror movie experience. You just want to go to the theaters and have a good time, but I wouldn't rank it as like because it's not like it's doing anything super profound or there's nothing crazy inventive about it. It's doing a lot of the things we've seen before, in the werewolf, or I mean, in the vampire world. It's just kind of adding on top of it instead of like,
Sure.
it's not like, what's the one I'm thinking of? Let me bring up my vampire list, because I did 2 videos of basically my top 20 vampire movies of all time. And what's the one I'm thinking of? It was one I
I was
discovered.
going to ask if you did a video of your favorite vampire movies.
Yeah, I've done 2. I always do it in like part 1, part 2. So like part 1 was like my top 10, part 2 was 10 through 20.
Oh,
And then
Lost Boys
eventually
is in there.
do
Well, while you're looking,
Lost Boys is actually my number 1.
Oh,
Nice.
it's got to be.
But
Nice.
What about 30 Days of Night?
Byzantium, that's one of my favorites. So like I'll just quickly read off my top 10.
What about Let
my
the Right
top-
One In? Is that vampires?
Yeah. So my number 1 is The Lost Boys. Number 2 is 30 Days of Night. Number 3 was Salem's Lot. Number 4 was Blade. 5 was the original Dracula, 1931 Dracula. Then I had Horror of Dracula from 58. Then Bram Stoker's Dracula from 92. Interview with the Vampire. Fright Night, 1985. And then Afflicted from 2013. And
Did you like
Afflicted
the
is
Fright
one of
Night
the...
remake?
Yeah, it was good.
I did too.
Well, like,
yeah.
It's not on the same caliber to me as the original, but I did think it was a good remake, and it was, a lot of it has to do with the cast. Like, it just had a really good cast in it.
Yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
Just give me an idea for a porn name. I'm gonna be Bam Stroker.
Hey,
So I ranked Let the Right One In as my number 12.
Nice.
So it was just out of my
Wait,
top.
which one? The American?
Yeah, no.
The foreign one.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
the foreign one. The American one is damn good too. Like,
Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah.
I actually had I had a hard time with that because I wasn't going to put both of them in my top 20. And so it was really, I had to put a lot of thought into which one was going to be, the spot for it. Cause they both have different, they're both different, but the same, but they each have like kind of different qualities. But I just found the original one to be just a little creepier, a little more scary. There's something, and I figured this out a long time ago, at least for me personally. There's something about foreign movies that are kind of a little extra scary to us because it's like it's a little more unique because it's not what we're used
Unfamiliar to us. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it'll have that extra layer of just something doesn't feel quite right and that creepiness to it.
Was
But
The
also,
Ritual
I
an
think
American
The
production? Do
Ritual-
we know?
No,
The Ritual?
The Ritual. No, I think it's
Is it a European production?
I want to say it's either European or I don't think The Ritual.
Which ritual are you talking about?
It was
the
took
one
place in
it was
Scandinavia
just a few years
somewhere.
ago.
Okay, yeah.
Really good. Not the,
I
not
love
the
it.
girl.
I thought you were talking about vampires. I'm like, The Ritual's not.
No, I was just thinking about how movies that are, even if they're
Yeah,
American,
that movie's
but they're
incredible,
set-
man. Like that movie is
Yeah.
so well shot.
Yeah.
So
it
well
does
shot.
something that a lot of movies have never done, and it kind of makes you, if you've never had night terrors,
Mhm.
it tells you what that feels like.
Yeah.
The disorientation.
Yes,
but
I
the
watched
movie-
that movie and I was like, oh my God, nobody has ever, because I've suffered from night terrors my whole life, as long as
Same
I can
here.
remember. And I was like,
Whenever
nobody
I get
has
like a
ever
fever,
depicted
whenever I get
it
a
like
fever,
that.
I get them every time.
Have you tried more cowbell?
Usually
usually
more
does the
cowbell helps just about anything. So,
usually.
But no, what I was talking about is that movie by Byzantium. I don't know if you guys have
I don't
seen
know
it,
that
but
one.
as far as like a newer horror movie that added something to the vampire game, that movie, like it's got a real uniqueness to it, and it's this really beautiful, like elegant way of being shot where there, even though it's like modern day, it has flashback scenes, but it reminded me of like Interview with the Vampire in a lot of ways, but with these female characters instead of the two males. but I don't know. It just has that really kind of almost like epic journey kind of feel about it, where because it spans over decades. But it wasn't like a very big movie. Like almost no one knows about it, but it's like just a gorgeously shot movie. Like there's a big chunk of it that's shot in this like small beach town, and there's like just these different shots that they got from like on like it looks like Santa Cruz almost, like where the beach boardwalk and the like the little Ferris wheel kind of thing and stuff like that. There's these shots from like I'm always really impressed with a cinematographer that captures that kind of stuff, where it's like it's one thing to build a set that you make look whatever. It's another thing to take your environment around you and just take a location and make it look magical with the angles you're shooting it at, because you can't control the lighting. You can't, you know what I mean? There's only like you have to work with what you're like. To me, there's an extra level of creativity when I see that, because it's like you're having to take what you have, what's there, and use your imagination to how can I use this to create these visuals, you know, instead of like, you know, there's creativity, of course, when you're building a set and doing all that. But I'm just saying, like, to me, it's almost like how they talk about when you shoot something in black and white, it's like it strips away a lot of the tricks you can use. And so it's like really just you and the picture. It's kind of, there's an element to me like that too. And so, but Xanthium has like a lot of these scenes like that to me that it just, it's got like a really cool look to it.
James brought up something interesting. He said he hasn't seen Abigail, but he heard it's a remake of something. So I just did a quick little Google search. It is based on a reimagining.
Yeah, it's not a remake.
No,
too many people are getting confused by what you're reading right now, so that's why I'm quickly jumping in. Way too many people have been coming at me all week because
oh my goodness, I was unaware. I was unaware of the drama.
It is like it is a reimagining, but
yeah,
it's really just a sliver. They're just using it as a starting idea. It's literally nothing to do with that movie. Like none of the same plot points
for the character, right?
But barely even that. Barely even that. They're the only part that even connects it to that is something that happens towards the end. Like 90% of this movie
so it's not
has
a
like
remake,
nothing.
It's not anything. It's
yeah, and I hate that they listed that on a lot of these things because so many people are like, and part of the reason why that's listed as a thing is because Universal
of anything.
Huh?
It's nothing. Lil Boozy Bert, nothing.
It's just Universal. It's a marketing ploy. It's them because they want to be able to use the whole Universal Monsters brand. And so that's really why they're trying to attach it. But it's like,
yeah,
it's not like there's like I love that movie. The original movie is cool, but this is like, and I've had so many people freaking out because I read what you just did in my review, because that's literally what it says when you off of Wikipedia or off IMDb, off of everywhere. It just says, you know, and like I had so many people coming at me. They're like, it's nothing like the movie. I'm like, I'm just reading what's written.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see it this weekend, and I'll probably have a review of it and give my thoughts. I'm looking forward to it though, so you know, hopefully it comes out. Hopefully it comes out well.
It has a real cool classic look to it too, which is something I really liked about it. Like the lighting has that kind of soft yellowish lighting to it, and just the whole movie, it kind of just gives it this like almost like a movie from a different time. You know, and like, because the whole movie also takes place in this like huge, crazy mansion that's got like a real gothic-y kind of quality to it. So like everything, it feels timeless in a way. It has that kind of timeless feel, even though, you know, it's like, it's obviously modern day. Like there's modern day clothing and equipment and, you know, the setup. Hey,
what do you mean?
We
My
know
name is
you.
Jay Palmer. I'm a
Man,
filmmaker
Jay,
from Florida.
What happened to your
I'm from
beard?
New York. I shaved it.
That was fast.
We're
Hey!
playing musical chairs.
Madison
fuck?
Grace, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we got twins.
Where's the camera?
You're looking at
It's on the iMac
you're looking
at
at
the
it.
top.
Weird. He usually has like a camera.
Madison,
Yeah,
how was, since you're here, how was filming of the Hellgate? We're gonna go back to the Hellgate for the last 10 minutes of the
Absolute
show.
hell. I'm just kidding. No.
Can't hear it.
It's bullshit. No. It was a lot of fun. I think
Give
there
us
was a
the
really
good,
great
bad, and the
team.
ugly.
The only ugly was there really wasn't a lot. Like, I think DJ did a really good job of assembling a really awesome team. Everybody on set just really came together and I think worked hard to make the script as best as they could and like make the story as best as they could, you know, take it and bring it to life. Co-star was awesome. All the actors were awesome. Freaking just everybody was awesome. It was really, really awesome. It was a really great experience. I have no words.
How do you
was
feel
the-
about your performance? Like, how do you feel like
Um,
you did?
I mean, I kind of understand why like actors don't want to watch their own movies now, but no, I don't know. Good. I gave the best that I could to the character. I think I even gave her a middle name, by the way. I don't know if I ever told anyone, but it is Marie, Lillian Marie Walsh.
So by the
my
end,
mama
do you
was
feel like
from
you know
Alabama.
this character? Like, do you feel like you
Oh,
knew
yeah.
this character?
I'm still branded. No.
How much
I'm
of
still, like,
her
wait.
is in you, or how much of you is in her?
Well, something I learned because I did take a few acting classes at Creative Veins, like preparing for a feature role like this, because I had no idea how to like really break down a script or really break down a character. I just kind of knew how to perform from music. So I took a few classes, and something they said is you got to think about, I just kind of visualized like a soundboard, because they were like, you got to take parts of your personality and like turn it up and down, and like parts of, you know, you being a human, the emotions you experience, you know, the more, it's just like writing or anything else, the more experience you have, the more naturally, I guess, it comes, or like, you know, the more in depth you can kind of go. But I kind of looked at it like a soundboard and just took me as a person and just kind of like tweaked and dialed up and dialed down certain things about Lillian's personality that I don't have, or that, you know, vice
So
versa.
like what is different? Like, what is different about her than you?
She's way more like, I guess she's way more she's a lot more sexual than I am. You know, we share the same body, but I don't quite use mine the way that Lillian does. She's very much a manipulator. I hate to say it, but she does. She gets whatever she wants, but she's had a really troubled life. And that's one thing I really liked about these characters, is that DJ didn't write like perfect characters. The fact that they're girls is kind of like last thought. You really don't think about it. They're just, you know, it kind of reminds me of, you know, the collective girl brain thought right now on social media, where it's like, I'm just a girl, like, you know, but I don't know. I think it was a good balance of having like flawed characters, but also like, you know, there was a lot of depth to them too. And every single one of them, I really don't feel like, and I think every actor did a really good job of like bringing that depth to every character, even for like some of the small parts. Like shout out to Chandra and all the extras that came to the bar scenes. Like I think every single one of them brought so much to each of their characters. I don't remember the question. I hit a pen before I came on here. Sorry.
So are you gonna continue to pursue acting? Like,
Yeah,
do you feel
I
excited
think
about that?
so. I think so. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on, you know, how.
Because this is your first real taste of it, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. So I did some music videos with some filmmakers here, Jaron and Tom, and then I like started working with them on their sets for like 48s and LOLs and stuff like that. And then one year Jay's like, hey, like I need a blonde, or I need someone like to play Paris. And so they like sent in my picture. And Bethany was like a big advocate, and she was like, no, this is your girl. This is who needs to play Paris in Jay's film. And then that was the only thing I did acting wise. I did, helped on more sets and short films and other stuff. And then Bethany brought me in for the Trick or Treat Film Festival. And then Jay brought me back again in January. And like that was like, so Bethany's was this past October. And then this January, Jay brought me back
That's
down.
cool.
And I've
So it's
actually
like
been like here. I've like been
so
with
it's like you've
them.
been so it's like you've been little by little getting a bigger and
Yeah,
bigger.
but even so,
That's
like
cool.
since January, I have been in 4 projects now since January. So I had like a project a month, but like I really had like a month off because it was like I did Jay's short film, Pick the Daisies Fine. Then I auditioned for this, went to another short film for Keegan Anifesto. I think I always pronounce her name wrong, but another local filmmaker here. And then I did and then in the middle of all that, I'm also shooting for a short film for Franklin Rich. He did a class at UNF, and we were out here, and he was like, hey, you want to come be in this short I'm shooting? I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't even know what it was. Like I, barely even knew who he was. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Like I just, got to hang out with everybody, just hanging out with Jay and Bethany. So I was like dipping a toe, and then just like boom, 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 just all these things kind of just fell into place. Rebecca had suggested me for the Don't Go Swimming, the Keegan's film. She had suggested me for that, which I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even know she knew who I was. So that was crazy too. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. My life has made like a complete 180 with like, working.
Like I had no idea how little experience you had prior to this, and I was impressed. Like I didn't honestly really know that until just now. You telling me, like I assumed because you legitimately seemed like a legit actor. Like I thought she's been in. Like you seem like you really know what you're doing, especially like I was talking about earlier before you were on how your prep. That was one of the things I was really impressed with, is like you getting into character. I thought,
well, it's easy. It's easy when it's as dramatic as a transformation. Like, my co-star Summer, she had to go from being a blonde to brunette. I was able to like keep my like two-tone hair that I have. It ended up fitting the character, but we both made decisions to like, sorry, DJ, to get contacts. Because that's what DJ wrote. And he wrote blue and green eyes. We both had brown, and we both kind of looked similar. So we just both thought that was the right choice for our characters. He wrote that in. That's something that he did want for those girls. And I think that like it was cool, and they played really cool, and I liked it, and they looked like my moms. But no, yeah, I had no experience really like in going into acting. When I even came on for Jay's Paris thing, like I said, that was the first thing. I've been in 2 musicals, one in 4th grade and one my senior year of high school. Was the star of my 4th grade one, and got like a solo in the senior one. But yeah, I'm a musician, so and I'm a singer, so all of my directors and choir adjudicators and coaches all said that singing is acting. So when I'm singing in Broke Town,
exactly. Like I sang forever myself. Like there's a big performing is performing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even the videos that I make right now, like there is differences, of course, but there's also similar. Like once you get used to flipping a switch and becoming this persona for whatever it is you're doing, they all kind of use that same muscle memory. It's like when I would go on stage, I had this switch that I would flip, and it's not that I wasn't me anymore, but I was Kanan, the singer of the band. I was this, this version of me. And the same is with acting, the same is with, whatever anytime you're doing like a public performance, I think it uses a lot of the same tools, so
I agree. No, 100%. I agree. Yeah. Cause since I was 11 years old, I've been kind of, like perfecting my stage presence, and I don't want to say character as Madison Grace, because at this point, like, she's not a character. If anything, like, I've worked really hard within my music and within myself as a person that, like, I am Madison Grace. I don't, you know, there's a version of myself before I really accepted like who I was, you know, and then there's a version of myself like after I accepted that. And I just poured everything into making sure that like me, myself as a person and myself as a performer is like the most authentic, genuine version of myself, but also like the best version of myself. And it's a work in progress. You know, it's always, I think every person feels that in their life, that it's a work in progress, but we're almost there. Luckily, I'm surrounded by really awesome other creatives and people who can help bring out the best in you. I think that's the important part. Iron sharpens iron. So be surrounded by people who love what they do and do what they do. Oh my God.
Kitty sharpen iron too.
And this is how we take over the world.
Man,
well,
I
you were
want
a
a
dream to have
cat.
on set, Madison. It was really nice to have you, and thank you for all the nice words.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. And I'm so ready for number 2. You better let me come in on that writing because I already have an idea. And it's gonna be awesome. And then there's one for the trilogy too.
It's called the Hellgate 2 Tease.
And then we have one is called the Hellgate. Summer came up with the title. So Hellgate : the origins.
Right.
So that's
Hellgate.
it's like
I
but
can
it's
wait.
not a
Say that
prequel.
again?
We'll see
The
how this-
Hellgate
No,
what?
it's not a prequel. I'm sorry.
The Origins?
Yeah,
The
Hellgate. They've
It's like
written
the origins of the Hellgate.
The cast has written like 3 different movies after this one, and I have not been involved in any of that. So.
You're just
No.
like, can we just finish this?
Yeah.
It's like,
Like,
just go ahead,
let's
and, go ahead
just
and
finish
license
this.
it. Just go ahead and license it to us, you know. And
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
go ahead and
sure,
get it.
let me do
It'll-
that.
Yeah,
All right.
you can
Well,
produce them. Yeah.
we are at 9:00.
Yep.
That's our 2-hour mark.
So do what you
Yep.
want. Who cares?
We're-
They like it.
We got to get out of here. But Madison, thanks for joining us for this last little bit. Happy to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to
we'll-
jump on because I've been wanting to, like last week I tried to talk to you a little bit, but you were,
In
so
Lillian mode.
yeah, no,
Well, we'll
and so I'm glad we were able to get you on here. So
We'll have the cast on. We'll have the cast on one of these streams and really talk about it as well. Probably closer to
Yeah, we should do
when
summer
we have-
too. We should do like
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get it with Summer, Braden. We'll get everybody.
that's what
on
we
and-
mean. Like when
I mean,
it's
you
time
can
to really
leave stuff
promote
out
the
of it.
movie, like once there's like some dates and things, like people can see it and whatever,
Yeah.
like
So that's it. So for those
promoting
of you watching,
time.
For those of you watching, sticking around for 2 hours, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to Bloodscribe Creations yet, please do so. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bloodscribe
Madison
Creations.
Grace music.
Follow Madison there at
Grace
Madison Grace
Yeah.
Music.
Shoot the Sky Image Works.
Shoot the sky.
Stephanie
Jake
Surratt.
Arnold. And everybody knows where to find Kanan Becker, Mr. Ghost Pyre Entertainment. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. Make sure you share this video. Hit that like button if you haven't already done that. If you don't feel like subscribing, but you like this video, please hit that like button. That also helps us out.
And please
If
share.
you're listening on Spotify, sorry to y'all. There's been a lot of visuals, but this podcast can be heard on Spotify and all your other favorite streaming platforms. And we will see you around next week for episode 32. Man, we are.
Oh, and where can people follow the Hellgate?
You can follow the Hellgate on Instagram at the Hellgate Movies. So please follow us there. That's where we're going to be sharing a lot of stuff is from that. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us. And we will see y'all next week. Good night.
That's